Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So I think yesterday you will never hear the online people, you never hear from Kitab al-Manaqib. Is that correct? As we repeat from there, you can just tell us where you must repeat from. Okay, see, let's start from there. Okay. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We sing Babu Manaqibi Quraishin wa Dhikril Qaba'ili. This is, I think, where we lost yesterday. Chapter with regards to the virtue of the Quraysh, wa dhikril qabaili, and the mentioning of the different tribes. قال الله تعالى, Allah Ta'ala says in the Quran, يا أيها الناس, أو you believe, إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى. Verily, we've created you from a male, وأنثى, and a female. وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا, and we made you into groups, وَقَبَائِلَ, into tribes, لِتَعَارَفُوا, so that you may recognize each other. إِنَّ أَكْرَمَكُمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَتْقَاكُمْ, verily the most virtuous of you, but Allah Ta'ala is the most God-fearing. So Manaqib Quraysh, I tell you, Manaqib is of Manqabatun, right? So the Wahid is Manqaba and the plural is Manaqib. So Manqaba refer to virtue, excellence, some lofty quality, a quality by which a person becomes honored in the sight of Allah Ta'ala. And then that person who gains virtue and becomes beloved in the sight of Allah Ta'ala, then naturally it follows he will become virtuous and beloved in the sight of the creation. But if a person becomes beloved in the sight of the creation, it's not necessary that he is virtuous and beloved in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right, so that is the word manqaba, manaqib. Then Quraysh was a famous tribe amongst the Arabs. And as I mentioned, Quraysh actually referred to a strong, powerful sea creature. I would imagine maybe like a killer whale or something like that. Something that would dominate the other sea creatures. And I told you that the Quraysh come from the progeny of Nadar ibn Kinana. So all the tribes, whatever tribe comes from his progeny, whatever tribe comes from the progeny of Nadar ibn Kinana is known as the Quraysh. And if any tribe's lineage does not go up to Nadar ibn Kinana, then it's not Quraysh. وذكر القبائل, قبائل, jama of qabila. So there will be the virtue of the Quraysh in particular, and some virtue of the other tribes, Arabian tribes as well. Some specialities of them, and by the way, also some evil characteristics of them as well. Right, so that is what the forthcoming chapter will entail, inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Read the first hadith. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وأنا أبي هريرة narrated the authority was Abu Huraira. He said أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم said الناس تبع لقريش. People will follow the Quraysh في هذا الشأن, in this matter, right? مسلم تبع لمسلمهم. مسلم تبع لمسلمهم. The Muslim will follow the Muslim. وكافرهم تبع لكافرهم, and the kafir will follow the kafir. متفق عليه. There's a متفق عليه riwayat. So the Muslim from the Quraysh will follow the Muslim, and the kafir from the Quraysh will follow the kafir from the Quraysh. So what it means is, until the Quraysh did not accept Islam, right, the rest of the Arabs around Makkah al-Mukarramah did not accept Islam. Because the Quraysh was such a powerful tribe, like also nowadays you see sometimes you have influential people from the community, etc. People look at them and see what they are doing, and they follow their cue, they follow their lead. So the Arabs around Makkah al-Mukarramah, they were waiting for the Quraysh to see which way the Quraysh would go. And after Fath Makkah, when the Quraysh accepted Islam, then all of them also accepted Islam. So you see that the Quraysh were like leaders even prior to the Islam. They were the queue. And subsequent to Islam, they were also the leaders. People followed them. And Nabi also ratified that. That is why in Islam also we say the most worthy person of the Imamat Kubra, means like to be the Khalifa, is the Quraysh. Remember at Saqifa Banu Sa'ida, where after Nabi Sallallahu passed away, with the Ansar, etc., gathered to elect a leader. Nabi, as Umar, as Abu Bakr said, Al-A'immatu min al-Quraysh, or Al-A'immatu min Qurayshin. So this is, you can say, is an encouragement to show that the Quraysh should be ahead. Consider them for the leadership positions. Whilst we don't say that the leadership of a non-Qurayshi is not valid. If a non-Qurayshi is elected as a Khalifa, etc., we'll say his Khilafat is correct. But we say the unique qualities, the leadership qualities that Allah Ta'ala is blessed with the Quraysh with, that will not be found. So that is what we're going to discuss today. The importance of the Quraysh, their sifat, etc. So it doesn't mean a non-Qurayshi will not have the qualities of leadership. They could have the qualities of leadership, but not like the Quraysh. But some ulama have gone to the extent it mentioned that it is necessary, it is farz, it is wajib, that the leader, the Khalifa, must be from the Quraysh. Some ulama have taken this in the literal sense, and they said that a non-Qurayshi leader is not acceptable I know in light of this, remember reading somewhere that some ulama, that after the Khilafat of the Khulafa al-Rashid, you had the Umayyad, you had the Abbasids, then the Dawlat Usmaniya, which was the Turkish. They were not Quraysh. They were not Qurayshi. So there's an alim that wrote a book supporting why their Khilafat was valid. So obviously shows you it's referring to that opinion that the Qiyadat of a non-Qurayshi, while not the ideal, it is valid. So those ulama who say that the Qiyadat of a non-Qurayshi is not valid, they say this ijma of the Sahaba Ikram. And the Fuqaha have also written this, right? Yes, if there is no Qurayshi available, there's a different story. But they're saying if you don't have a Qurayshi, you can get anyone else from the progeny of Kinana. And if not, then anybody from Banu Ismail, which means the Arabs. And then if you don't get anybody, then you will take from the non-Arabs. So this is muttafaq amongst all the Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah that you should have a Qurayshi, right? He's the ideal, he's the best, etc. Only the it is the Shia, the Mu'tazila, the Maududis, etc., who believe that you don't need a Qurayshi. Amongst us, the Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, at the minimum, we say it is best to have a Qurayshi. At maximum, we say it is farz to have a Qurayshi, right? Read the next hadith, inshallah. عن جابر رضي الله عنه صلى الله عليه وسلم قال الناس تبعني قريش خير وشر. Right. So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim narrating of Tarif al-Jabir, he said, Nabi Sam said, An-Nasu people, taba'un, they will follow the Quraysh, fil khayri wa sharri, in good and bad. So now what they mean here is like the Quraysh were not ready to accept Islam. They remain on their kufr. Then all the tribes around Makkah also remain on their kufr. But when the Quraysh were ready to accept Islam and they accepted Islam, then all the people followed them. So as I said, people look up to them. They are the powerful people. They are the influential people. People look at them for guidance, etc. Read the next riwayat. Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وعن ابن عمر أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال لا يزال هذا الأمر في قريش ما بقي من الاثنان. Right now, authority of Ibn Umar, he said, Nabi Sallam said that this matter, in other words, leadership, it will remain amongst the Quraysh, ma baqiya, even if there remains two from amongst them. So even if there's two people in this dunya, and you want to elect a Khalifa, then the Khalifa should be elected from the Quraysh. Here's the next one. فأقاموا الدين. Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وعن معاوية نريتنا أثار معاوية قال سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم saying يقول إن هذا الأمر في قريش. That this matter of leadership, etc., right? إنهم it should be in the Quraysh. لا يعاديهم. Nobody should show enmity. Nobody should show uh, 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 hatred to them, oppose them in this matter. Nobody will do that. إلا كبه الله. Except Allah Ta'ala will fling him على وجهه, right, on his face. ما أقاموا الدين, as long as they establish deen. So as long as they are establishing the Shariat, etc., then nobody should oppose them. If anybody opposes them, they will be flung headlong into the fire Jannam. Rawahul Bukhari, Imam Bukhari narrates this particular right. So, but from this, see, it says there, ma aqamud deen, as long as they establish the deen. So what does this show you? That they are worthy of khilafat when they establish the deen. If they not establish the deen, if they fall prey to the nafs, etc., then they are not worthy of the khilafat. The main purpose of khilafat is to make tanfiz of deen. That's why we speak about khilafat ala minhaj nubuwa. When they leave out the deen and and they want to establish something else besides the deen, then they are not worthy. Then the virtue for them is lost. They are wajibul azal. Some riwayat says ma aqamus salatah. So no difference because salat is actually representative of deen. As-salatu imaduddin, man aqamaha faqama ad-din, man hadamaha faqad hadama ad-din. The ulama have written, if any leader, he himself does not perform salah, he himself doesn't, and he does not make arrangements for the people, the populace, to perform salah, then he should be removed. If you look at many of the Muslim countries today, I mean, instead of establishing deen, they don't want to do away with deen. They want to eradicate deen because they feel deen is a threat. The kabba yakubu, to throw somebody headlong, to cast somebody headlong, right? Okay, read the next riwayat.
وعن جابر بن سمرة رضي الله تعالى عنه قال سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول لا يزال الإسلام عزيزا إلى 12 خليفة كلهم من قريش. في رواية لا يزال أمر الناس ماضيا وليهم 12 رجلا كلهم من قريش. في رواية لا يزال الدين قائما حتى تقوم الساعة أو يكون عليه 12 خليفة كلهم من قريش متفق عليه.
Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This is a very interesting hadith. Uh, just before we read the hadith, remember I told you that the Shias, they believe in the 12 Imams that came after Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They believe these 12 Imams are the most worthy of the successorship, right? And we say there's no basis for this. They try to use this hadith, but abortively. Because if you look at this hadith here, it does not speak about 12 Imams, right? Something totally different to what they claim to. And if you start something totally different to what they claim is right, the only similarity between their claim and what is this hadith is that there's the mention of 12, right? See, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وعن جابر بن سمرة, narrating the authority of Jabir ibn Samurah. قال سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. I heard Rasul يقول saying لا يزال الإسلام عزيزا. Islam will continue to be strong, powerful إلى اثنتي عشر خليفة until there are 12 خلفاء كلهم من قريش. All of them are from the Quraysh. وفي رواية in another رواية لا يزال أمر الناس ماضيا, that the matter of the people will continue, right? ما وليهم 12 رجل, as long as 12 people take charge of them. كلهم من قريش, all of them from the Quraysh. وفي رواية in another رواية لا يزال الدين قائما. All different riwayats for the same thing. Deen will remain firm, strong حتى تقوم الساعة, until Qiyamah comes. أو يكون عليهم, or there will be upon him 12 خليفة. There will be 12 خلفاء كلهم من قريش, all of them from the Quraysh. متفق عليه, and there's a متفق عليه رواية. So I was telling you, the Shias, they try to use this narration to say, to prove the 12 Ma'asum Khulafa, the 12 Ma'asum A'imma. Remember, they say that they believe in the Quran and they believe in the 12 Imams. They say after the Quran, the next proof in the Shariat is the 12 Imams, right? Remember that. And the Sunnah. Now, when you ask them where is the proof for the 12 Imams, etc., they quote this hadith. But if you look at this hadith here, it has, just change the page, it has nothing to do with regards to the 12 Imams. So if you look at this hadith here, what is this hadith saying in simple words? What is the clear part or the clear understanding of it that nobody can dispute is this part here, that look here, Qiyamah will not come. Qiyamah will not come until a 12 khulafa appear. This is some anecdote with this hadith. Remember I told you I used to debate a lot with the Shias and all that type of thing. So one day Fadhur Rahman, Sheikh al-Hadith of Darul Zakaria, he was by our house, came to visit, came for tea. So I asked him, this, I forgot it from student days. So I told him, Azumullah, what does this hadith actually mean? The Shias, they use this hadith to, to prove that, the imamate. So Mullah told me, you were not paying attention in class. Remember we done this riwayat in Bukhari Shareef. Seems like you were sleeping in class. So go back and check your lesson. आप भूल गए हम तो ये तो पढ़ी है class में, we read this in class. Check कर लो, go check your notes, see what was the explanation of the hadith, right? So this much is quite clear and evident from the hadith. That look here, Qiyamah will not come. That Qiyamah will not from the Quraysh that will rule us ummah, and it will be a strong khilafat, right? But the rest now, when will they come? Who will they be? Will they be consecutively? Will they be separately? All there is now there's no clarity on that, right? The first thing is we can't say that this happened immediately after Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because remember the Nabi clearly mentioned in the hadith, the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam clearly mentioned in the hadith that after him khilafu ala mihajim nubuwah will be only for 30 years. You understand what I'm saying? So, and the 30 years ended with the rule of Hassan. So that's why we can't say it is the 12 khulafa that came immediately after Rasulullah. After that, there was what we term as khilafat ala tariq al-umum. So one explanation it could be is that at different points in time, After Nabi, so maybe you had the first four Khulafa, then you had Umar bin Abdul Aziz, etc. At different points in time, you would have different people. So it could be, could you say staggered? It could be random. Qazi Iyaz Maliki says, he says no, it referred to 12, he said referred to 12 Khulafa in consecutively after Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said yes, maybe the Umayyads, they were not the best, but they were still strong Khalifas. You understand what I'm saying? Some of them maybe not the best, like you said, Yazid and his son Muawiyah ibn Yazid, etc. But generally, it was a good Khilafat. So it referred to the 12 immediately after Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The second explanation is this here, that it referred to 12 random khulafa, not in consecutive order. 12 random khulafa, not in collective. That until these 12 random, staggered, strong khulafa does not appear, then Qiyamah will not take place. So this seems to be the easiest and the best goal. Some ulama say this refers to 12 khulafa that will come after the Mahdi. In fact, it will be from the children of the Mahdi. So for 150 years after the Mahdi, there will be a khilafat of adl, justice, etc. So this will be like from the last signs of Qiyamah. Another explanation is this, that this refers to 12, what's the right word? 12 khulafa at the same time, like where the Muslim world will be split up. If you study the history of Andalus, of Spain, you will see they had what they call the Ta'ifatul Muluk. Eventually, the whole of Spain was broken up into different places. And if you look at the Muslim world, there were times where they were fragmented. You had somebody in Baghdad, you had somebody in Egypt, etc., etc. So what the hadith is saying, that initially there will be a strong khilafat, but then what we term is Tawa'iful Muluk. So I was telling you, this definitely does not lend credence to the Shia concept of Imamate. Only this much it speaks about his 12 khulafa. They use this as a basis to split from the rest of the ummah. And we say this is a clear interpolation of the hadith. What we call is, when you remember we discussed this word tahrif. You change the actual words of the text. It's tahrif lafzi, and one is tahrif ma'nawi. You change the clear, glaring meaning of it. And the interesting thing, we say, look here, does hadith speak about 12 khalifas, right? People will be in power. But if you look at what they claim, it was only Hazrat Ali that was officially elected. Hazrat Hassan for a short while, right? And Hazrat Hussein, right? Sorry, Hazrat Ali and Hazrat Hassan. Besides them, none of these people were ever in a position of leadership. So that means, according to them, it's a failed prediction. Unless they will say maybe they had spiritual leadership. but did not have political leadership. You understood that? So the rest of them, the besides the Ali and the Hassan, the others, well, they say the 12th one, the Mahdi is still coming. So it's 9 of them. They had no political leadership. So that means the hadith did not manifest itself. How can you call them the khulafa? So I was telling you, there's definitely no way that this can lend any credibility to their opinion, can lend any credibility to their stance on the matter. Okay, read the next hadith.
عمر رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قتال غفر الله لك واسلم فاذنه الله وعصية عصت الله ورسوله.
Okay, so remember we were telling you that this Bible not only speaks about the Quraysh, but it speaks about some other tribes. وعن ابن عمر narrating from ابن عمر قال قال رسول غفار غفر الله لها. This tribe of Ghifar, may Allah Ta'ala forgive them. وأسلموا, and the tribe of Aslam, سالمها الله, may Allah Ta'ala keep them safe. وأصية, and this Usayya, عصت الله ورسوله, they disobeyed Allah and His Rasul. متفق عليه, متفق عليه رواية. غفار غفر الله, I told you غفار with a kasra on the ghain was a famous tribe, and the famous Sahabi that came from this tribe was Abu Dhar al-Ghafari. So Nabi Sallallahu played with the words and said that may Allah Ta'ala forgive them because they were good people, Ghifar. And then Aslam, Allah Ta'ala, and Nabi also played the words and said, may Allah Ta'ala keep them with salamat. It was also a big tribe. This particular tribe had the good fortune of accepting Islam willfully. No, not engage in any type of fighting. So that's why we also played with the words, may Allah Ta'ala keep them salamahumullah, keep them safe. Then Usayya, this is that tribe. Remember when they came to, there's a tribe came to Nabi Sallallahu and requested, we want some people to teach us, etc. So Nabi Sallallahu sent 70 Sahaba Ikram, the best of the Sahaba Ikram, to go and teach them, etc. So they killed all these Sahaba Ikram treacherously, mercilessly. That's why Nabi Sallallahu was annoyed with them. That's why he said, Usayyatu asatillaha wa rasulahu. They disobeyed Allah and His Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Okay, we stop there, inshallah. We'll switch over to the tafsir now.
Then you become in form.
Yeah. Was 70 that they killed, I think. We'll do more of this. It will come also, inshallah, in Bukhari Shareef.